So I wanted to come on and make with an observation I just made in my brain about my brain. Well, not really. It's about energy and emotions and stuff like that. One of the things I was listening, excuse me, one of the things I was listening to Michael Singer about earlier today was the idea that our emotion, everything's an energy, right? We've got mind and we've got heart, and the softer like a field of something is, the easier it is to manipulate, right? So you can really manipulate water really easily, like just like shh, and the water, the ripples go out, you know what I mean? But then wind even more so, and then light even more so. And emotions are like that, right? They get disturbed very easily by things as they go along. And one of the metaphors that Michael Singer uses in the book is that emotions can be like a breeze, like a wind across your skin. And sometimes, you know, because they're not us, they're something we should be observing, not identifying with. I'm having a little bit of anxiety. So one of the things he was talking about is how emotions are like storm, like not necessarily storms, but like wind, right? So there can be like a pleasant breeze, balmy, the smells of coconut, and you know, Hawaiian music, or they can be like a gale force wind, right? Like storm, like the blizzard, like a cyclone, you know. And I was also thinking about I was kind of posting in one of the in the Michael Singer group, Facebook group that I belong to, and we were talking about the inner voice in your head and how like your inner roommate and how loud they get. And I was talking about, you know, how things happen in my head, and how I'm like dealing with them differently now. And so now, what I'm doing is like, it really does help to picture it like it's a storm, like it's a really big windstorm, right? When those emotions come, they hit me, and I get short, you know, I get short of breath, or like I start talking to myself about them, or you know, anything where whenever I can catch myself, as soon as I can, sit down and let it just be a windstorm. Rather than trying to stop the wind, because that's just gonna get you blown over, right? So I think that's gonna be a really useful metaphor for me, that I hope I can keep in my brain, to just be like, the emotion comes and I watch it like swirl around me and just relax and release throughout it. The problem is when I start, when that the situation that I'm talking about starts, you're already way into it by the time you figure out it's going on. And I have a lot of impatience when it comes to being mindful. Can I just be mindful now? Come on. Just exist in the moment now. Come on. Like, that helps. So yeah, that's all I wanted to come on and say. It's a realization that I had that I hope will help other people too, maybe. Because when my emotions are going and that storm is blowing, like, it can knock the wind out of me, and it can make me feel a little like out of sorts, and like I gotta brace myself. And thinking about this as a storm, I think I'm gonna be able to conceive of it differently as it's happening. So I can sit and just kind of, you know, breathe in and breathe out, but just sit there still and let the storm blow and watch it. And, you know, hopefully someday soon we'll see it as something that's kind of funny that our brain does. But for right now, I'm just gonna let the storm blow as soon as I realize that it's happening, because that's the key. That is the key. But the more I do it, the better at being aware of it that I will be. And eventually I'll get to the point where I'm aware just before it starts going. And that's the goal. That's the goal, to learn to relax and release at the very first part of that. But for now, the baby step I have to take is just allowing man, I just picture this like blizzard, gale force winds with snow and like just circling around me, because they're caught in like a place in between two mountains, like in a steep valley, and like that. So yeah, and I'll just have to sit there and let it do it. It's not comfortable. It is not comfortable. But it's better than running away from it. It's better, yeah, because trying to get away from it, you go through a lot worse than just the emotion. And you're gonna have to go through it eventually anyway. So let's just experience it now. So that's what I wanted to bring up. I hope that's helpful to somebody else out there who may be struggling with the same sorts of issues, where you feel kind of taken away by your emotions, and then, yeah. So that's it. I just wanted to say that to you guys, and that I am grateful for the realization, because that's going to help me as long as I can keep it in there. Just relax and release, right? So I'm grateful for that, and I'm going to say to all of you out there, on that note, I encourage you all to always remember that you can always choose to have a grateful night.